Today I'm going to be looking at whether it's better to build a bed or buy one and have someone make it for you. I'm going to look at how much money it costs for both options and also that hidden cost that nobody ever tells you about and you never realise until it's too late. So one of the stumbling blocks on a project like this is quite simply the tools that you need. These are the 4 tools that I use most on this build. Now I know what you're thinking, these are all branded, but if you want, there are cheaper alternatives out there. So job 1 if you're making is to decide whether you're going to go down the reclaimed timber or whether you're going to have a journey out to the local big box store. Pricing up new timber from the big orange store will cost you around about £100, and that's at the beginning of 2026. Me, I'm tighter than a duck's backside in a rainstorm, so I've been hoarding pallet wood for months. All you pallet wood haters, you just come at me in the comments, I'm ready for you. So once you've figured out which direction you're going to go with your timber, you need to get it to the right sizes. If you've got bought timber, you might have gone all the way fancy and got timber cut to the exact size that you want. Takes away half the fun in my eyes, but each to their own. For me, I'm going to have to laminate some of these pallet wood boards together so I've got the length and the thickness in the stock that I've got. Once I've managed to do that, it's down to trimming it down. I don't think you can go far wrong with a good wood muncher. But there's always more than one way to skin a cat, and this could be done by dimensioning it down with either a table saw or a circular saw using the guidings that come with it. And with this project needing so much, it's simply eat, sleep, rinse, repeat. Now we can all sit here and turn one piece of timber into multiple dimensions of timber, but you need to understand where this project is going. So we've got a quick sneak peek of how this is going to go together. Loosely clamped up, but you get the idea. Now I said I'd keep you up to date with costs. So far, all I'm in for is a little bit of elbow grease with those pallets and a bit of glue. Nice and cheap so far, but what about that hidden cost? Well, we'll get back to that later. Right, it's time to cut some simple joinery into this project now. I've got my 4 posts lined up, clamped together, keep everything square. Got my rails. I'm going to take half the thickness of this, half the thickness of that. Should look nicely line up, nice and square, nice and flush. I'm going to use my circular saw. I'm just going to sneak up on these cuts, keeping it nice and tight. So even though this is a home project at the beginner level, we can add some real simple joinery in there with some basic tools. This keeps it nice and strong and secure. And it always looks a little bit better than just screws. Nobody wants to see those shiny little things sticking out all over the place. Time to trim the excess off now, and that cost is still just that, a little bit of white stuff. The glue's done its job well, and as these ends come down to their proper dimensions, you can clean this up with either a small block plane or a sander. For the next part, we need some small slats. Now I'm using a chop saw here, simply because I've got one, but this works just as well with the set square and circular saw. I've got my 5 lats, got my spacers, make sure it's all right. I've gone and put a pencil line 2 centimeters in from the top and the bottom, and I've marked out all my bits. I'm just going to go through and colour them in so I know which ones are waste and which ones aren't. Then I'm going to come back with the router and chop them all out. That should just sink these in nice and flush then. So as this build's going on, I suppose I should really start talking to you about that hidden cost that I mentioned. And that cost, quite simply, is time. We can all say that it's free, but it's one of the few things that you can never get any more of. You can always get more money. You can always get more wood. You can never get more time. So we've always got to bear that in mind. And that's why I've been keeping a total not just of the monetary cost, but of the time cost on this project, because whilst my labour might appear free, it's not. So as this build comes together and we look at putting the long stretchers along the bottom that's going to help hold the mattress, the main outgoing has simply been time. At this point, I'm around about 10 hours in. It's taken time to manufacture the timber, get it to the right dimensions, and also to be cutting out some of the joinery. But so far for me, this seems more than worth it. Even going and putting these mortising and tenons in was a great experience, something that I'm really proud of. But let me know in the comments below, Do you think that you could invest 10 hours and would it be a worthwhile endeavour for you in your workshop? And this is what I love about projects like this. How simple did these basic tools make it look for cutting in some tenons? Now all there is a mortises, and I can promise you that this is no more difficult. A good Forstner bit and a half sharp chisel and you are there. Some beginner level joinery to take this project to the next level, and more importantly, make sure it's not going to collapse. What I love when we get into stuff like this is that a little bit of joinery can stop you having to put all those unsightly screws in. There's nothing ruins a project more than a load of metalwork sticking out of a wood project. So with everything cut and ready, it's time for a dry fit. Now I know there's some of you going to be out there saying, but Ross, this is where you could save some of that time. Don't bother with a dry fit. I've done that and I've learnt from it. If you don't dry fit, it'll take you 10 times longer, I can assure you, because once that white stuff goes on, there's no coming back. And with the back rail all finished now, there is just time to put a nice little round over those little details and come back with a bit of sanding before getting involved with some painting. Now there is another piece of cheap kit that will make this a lot faster. I picked up a spray painter for around £30, a couple of coats, a denib in between, and it saved me hours. Sometimes you've got to look at it and think that £30 is going to be worth the hours and hours of you being on your knees painting. So as we go into finally gluing this thing all together in place, there's a couple of things that I promised you right back at the beginning. Number one is the question, is it better to buy or to build your own bed? Secondly, I did mention that there are some hidden costs. One of them is time. There is actually another one, but I'll get to that at the end when my head stops hurting. And I can assure you, you're going to get a laugh out of this cost. I know, you're looking at this thinking, this is crazy how you're putting this together. And yes, I do believe in the age-old saying you can never have enough clamps. But I don't have loads of bedside clamps. So it's on to what I've got, which is some ratchet straps. The slats have been put in place with a nail gun, but a hammer does just as well. And that brings us towards the end of this build. Just time to look at the final beauty shots and then we'll go through the costs. So this project's drawing to a close and I wanted to go through with you the costs. And there's several things to look at here before we decide, is it better to buy a bed and have someone make it, or is it better to make your own? So first of all, let's look at the financial cost of buying a bed. I found one similar to what I've designed for the best part of £500. I asked around on a local Facebook group and found a handyman that would fit it for £200. It's a £700 investment for what is a single bed. So the cost of actually making the bed myself using pallet wood, this has cost me around about £40. And even then, that's not the true value. £30 of that has gone into a spray paint gun. I'll get tons of use out of that. And on top of that, I've had to buy one bottle of glue and I've got half of it left. So I'm not doing too bad. Paint and everything else were just stuff that I had knocking around. And I suppose if I had to put a value on it, it'd be another 10 quid. That takes us up to around about a £50 investment. Now I did say priced up timber as well, right at the beginning. That takes us to about £150 including timber. Still a considerable saving compared to paying £700 for a bed. But what about those other hidden costs? How hard are you going to laugh, you might add? Well, there's a couple of clips that I want to show you here, because the other cost that you didn't see was frustration. Oh, for sake. The frustration of having to learn by doing it wrong, frustration and the pain of forgetting to clamp a top beam on and getting hit on the head. Yes, that taught me a valuable lesson. A life lesson, you might add. But it was all worthwhile in the end for me to save what is around £650. And I'm absolutely chuffed with the results. So for me, the answer's quite clear. It's better to build a bed. Yes, I am into woodworking, that does help, but there's nothing in this video that you can't learn to do in a weekend. As for the time it took, that's 20 hours. So if I divide the £650 I've saved by 20, that gives me an hourly rate of what I've saved. Is that higher or lower than what I earn? Well, I'll keep that to myself. That just leaves one thing for me to say as always. Thank you for watching. I'm Ross. This is Fat Hog Woodworking and I hope to see you guys on the next build video.